Oh, good morning. It is so cold today. When I woke up, it said -8 on the thermometer, but the sun's hit it a little bit, and now it's like hovering right a little bit around 0, but it's cold. It's cold for us. Anyways, I've been burning a lot of wood. As you can see here, this is Edna behind me. Edna didn't make it. She didn't pull through the winter. Looks like she got stabbed twice through the heart. But anyways, for this time of winter, I would like to have a little bit more firewood. At this point in things, I think the easiest way to get a bunch more heat for our house would be if I can get a bunch of coal, but I'm really not sure if I can get that right now because there's been so much pack ice moving down the bay that it could have frozen all the coal and locked it into the beach. That's usually where we can go get some coal. So I'm gonna go down there today and see if I can even get some coal. Let's go check it out. First things first, before I go down to the beach, I gotta make sure that these big woolly animals still have some food. So let's do that. Each horse gets half a bale of hay. Yeah, that's a little bit more there. That's half a bale. So I can put half a bale out that door. Put half a bale out that door. Half a bale out that door. I've been having some issues with my water this year, freezing up my valve body down in the tank room. So I'm really happy to see that I think I finally got it resolved. I got some more heat tape on it and redid the valves and stuff, so it's working, which is really good. Head on down to the beach and see if we can't find us some wintertime heat. I'm finding it so cold and my hoods aren't staying on. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of tie them on a little bit here with a piece of baling string. All right, here we go. I want to stop at the beach spring here in a minute and see if there's still water flowing. Even when it's this cold, it can usually still be open, but it's hard to say. I'd like to get some water if it's still open. Check this out. This is our beach spring. This is where we always get water in the summer. It forms these really cool ice sculptures here. Look at that. There's water running inside of this thing. This creek here always flows. There's always water in it. No matter how cold it is, you could always get good drinking water out of this stream, which is pretty cool. Well, I made it down to the beach, and there's a lot of ice down here, which is what I was a little bit worried about. I'm gonna go kind of cruise the beach a little bit and see if I can find some coal still this time of year. It's not the ideal time of year to get coal, but it would be really nice if I could add some more heat to my pile, some more BTUs to the mountain of wood and coal. I don't have much coal left. I have just one little piece left. So we'll see here in a minute. We'll have to go check it out. One of the cool things about this beach here is it's not really just a place that we go. This beach is also, it's access to the head of the bay. You can go that way for 30 miles and you're in the wilderness, and then it just goes onwards forever. You could go that way and eventually you'd end up back in Homer, you know, but it's a resource for us. Every single day there's new treasures that unearth themselves through the tidal action, whether it's coal or driftwood that we could burn, or provides access to the ocean for salmon. We can set nets out here and catch fish right off the beach. So there really is like a great abundance that this natural beach here gives us access to, and it's pretty cool. My grandparents, this was the highway when they first came here. They would come down to the beach with a horse and a cart, and they would take that horse and cart all the way into town. A ship would come in here, and they'd be able to get all these things. You know, that's where they'd get their sugar and their wheat and a lot of those kind of staples, and those, they would come in once a month, and they'd make this trip to town. You know, now in a car, we can get to town in, I don't know, 20 minutes, but for them, it was an all-day event, usually staying the night somewhere in town and coming back the next day. And it's just a different kind of people back in the days of iron men and wooden ships. Not quite wooden ships, there were steel ships, but I think you get my gist. You had to be made out of wood or iron in order to survive in those days. Kachemak Bay is called Smoky Bay for a reason. These bluffs are packed with coal that naturally tumbles out onto the beach. We have to be careful to not light them on fire because they can burn for years if they're not put out. Indigenous people actually use these cliffs as a permanent source of heat. They'd collect the fire. Talk about a natural fireplace. Here's some coal here. That's coal. This would be good for burning. You know, these are small. That's the problem with this stuff here, is where it's very accessible, it's very small. There's bigger chunks out there. There's actually a good chunk right there. I'm gonna see if I can get it. It's frozen in. Damn it, I forgot my bar. This one's pretty frozen in. I'm gonna go get a bar and see if I can break it loose. I'm gonna see if I can get it. Oh yeah, there we go. Didn't take much with the right tool. That's a nice chunk of coal there. That'll heat my house for maybe 3 days, just that one piece. I'm gonna go wander down the beach and see what else we can find. It's another good one. I'd like to find some more big chunks, something that so it really starts to add up. Lots of little stuff here. That's a decent chunk. All right, well, I'm gonna get my four-wheeler and start loading some of this stuff up. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a nice chunk. This right here, this is the reason that my grandfather made it here. He knew he wanted to immigrate from Switzerland to North America. Originally, he was going to go to British Columbia, but when he was hitchhiking across the United States, he met a guy who told him that there was a place where coal was laying on the beaches in a place called Homer, Alaska. And in Europe, during that period in time, and for hundreds of years before that, this right here was one of the most valuable commodities in its availability, and it's what made people rich and wealthy, and it's coal. And so to have a place in the world where he knew that you could literally pick up coal for free right on the beach, that meant success. It meant warmth. It meant a lot of things to him. So I definitely, when I pick this stuff up, I think about him and the reasons he went there. Nowadays, not many people heat their homes with coal, at least not in the western part of the world. But it's a valuable, valuable resource right here. And it's pretty amazing that I can just still go out down on the beach just like my grandfather did almost 100 years ago and pick up the same stuff. My grandfather also taught me the value of a double-bladed axe. That's so one side you can dull and it's not a big deal, but the other side you keep sharp. So you always got to know which side is your dull side, which side is your sharp side. You could also keep both sides sharp if you wanted to, but for chopping in the ground, chopping through roots, chopping up coal in this situation, you have a dull side, you have a sharp side. That way if I actually got to try to cut some wood with it, one side's sharp also. All right, we just hit the mother lode. Look at this block right here. Whoa, it's slippery. Look at this block. Frozen into the ground, but this is a good one because for a few reasons. One, it's high and dry. It's really high up on the tide line. For two, it's big. And when they're drier like this, I should be able to bust it apart. So I'm gonna go after it with the axe and the bar a little bit. Make sure I'm using my dull side. Look at that. Look at that piece. Oh, that's a big one. I'm gonna see if I can get it into my trailer hole. I gotta back the four-wheeler up closer though. This is one my grandfather would be proud of. He'd be trying to get that one in his coal trailer. So let's see if I can get it in there by myself. It's gonna be kind of heavy and annoying, but I think we can get it done. Let's find out. Yes, I got it in there. That is a nice chunk. There's a few more good ones around here. I'm gonna see if I can get before we leave, but we're getting close to a full load. There's also this big one here. That one, I could get a lot off of that one also, but I'm gonna save that one for next time. This is gonna definitely be a good one for later. I'm gonna see if I can break some off of this one. And so you can kind of take advantage of the cracks that are in the coal to split it. That's what an axe is good for. All right, that is a lot of coal. I'd say I probably have close to 1,000 pounds of coal in this trailer right now. And that's a lot of weight to pull up that steep switchback road with my four-wheeler, but we're gonna give it a try. So it's gonna be interesting. Let's go see. I'm about to get cut off by the tide here. The tide's come up a long ways. All right, here's the moment of truth. This is where it starts getting steep. Didn't make it. I'm gonna have to try to get a little bit more of a run at it. All right, here goes. That got me past the icy part, but there's onto this dirt, but there's some more icy parts up above, so I'm definitely gonna kind of need to keep my momentum. There's no way I'm gonna do it, not without chains. Backing trailers down hills like this is really dangerous, because if it starts pulling me downhill backwards, it could jackknife or roll this whole apparatus off that cliff right there. You wanna hear a true story about this? So my grandfather, he was getting a load of coal and he'd pull it up the hill with his little Ford 8N tractor, and he had a whole load of coal, and oftentimes the trailer was so heavy that it was pushing down on the back of the tractor, and the front wheels would come off the ground, so you don't have a whole lot of steerability, and you got to get a run at it just like I did, going fast up this steep part of the hill. He was coming up this hill here, around this corner, coming up here, and it was this corner here that he couldn't make that turn, and the front wheels came off right here, and he went down that, and that is steep, down that to the creek at the bottom, down the creek, out there, and back up the road, and he was waiting for him after they had run down this hill, run down, followed him down, and ran down up here, and he made it to that corner. And then he had them sit on the front of the tractor to add some extra weight to the front wheels so that they could stay down, and he could go on up this hill, taking off up that hill, going as fast as the tractor could. He was a crazy son of a bitch, that's for sure. All right, so I'm gonna have to leave the four-wheeler trailer here, and I'm gonna go home and get chains, and I think chains will make all the difference for getting up this hill. So I parked this thing up against a big dirt clod over there, so I don't think it's gonna get away from me and roll down the hill. I think it'll stay there while I go get some chains. I made it back to my shop. Now I can put some chains on this thing and go get my coal. Okay, chains are on the wheeler the whole way around, and now I'm ready to go rally back down the hill and go see if I can pull that coal trailer up the hill with chains on here. I'm still skeptical, but we'll find out. We got her hooked up, chains all the way around. We're gonna give it another try. Here goes. Dang. We're gonna try again with a better run at it. I'm not ready to give up yet. All right, second gear. Let's go. You get up that hill. Yeah, come on. Let's go, let's go. Shit. I'm gonna try the ditch this time. There's better traction over there. Uh-oh. Maybe slower is the answer. Now I'm going real slow, not letting my tires spin. Letting them find their perches and grab. That didn't work. I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna try taking some weight off of the trailer and putting it in the four-wheeler. I'm not the first Kilcher to struggle getting up this hill with a load of coal, and I sure hope I'm not the last. Let's give it another try. Oh yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. I did not think I was gonna make it that time, to be honest, but I did. I got up around this corner, from way down there, up around this corner. This is the steepest spot right here, but I had the momentum to make it. Now I'm back on the dirt up there. So there's a couple more icy spots, but I think I can get them from here. Well, that was a mission and a half. I got my coal here. I put it underneath this tree. That's where I've been putting it for many, many years. I've got like a little bit left, kind of like 1 block left, but not enough. And so this is awesome. This is enough to get me through the rest of the winter if you mix a little bit with wood and a little bit with coal. So now I definitely have, with the wood that I have, I didn't have enough wood to get me through the rest of the winter, but with this coal and the combination of the two, it's not a problem. This is enough heat to get me through the rest of the winter and into summer, and then we don't really use that much heat anymore, extra heat. So super happy about that. So I'm not really sure if this coal is gonna work for lighting a fire because it's kind of a little bit damp and there's a lot of ice in it from the beach. But we're gonna find out here in a minute. I'm gonna unload it and light a fire. Tell this is good coal. It's very dense. It's very dense and very shiny. That's kind of one of the ways you can tell if it's good coal. It's got a lot of BTUs in this. This one chunk here will keep my house warm all night long. Just this one chunk. So it's very valuable stuff. Before I actually light a fire in here, I want to clean the ashes out of it. It's something like general maintenance that needs to be done probably maybe once a month if it's only wood, or every 2 weeks if you're burning coal. So need to do that, and that's what I'm going to do right now. It's going to be pretty full. A little bit embarrassing how full it is, I'll tell you that much. I got the wood stove cleaned out, but there's one more thing that I really need to do. Haven't done it yet this winter, which is a major bad thing to do. So that's kind of how houses get burned down. So I need to tackle this next task. So I need to climb up onto my roof for this next task. Ugh. That gets me over onto this part. I've got some ropes to be able to get up onto the roof here. So chimneys can light on fire because that soot that's in there builds up like creosote, which is basically tar, and wood smoke mixed with water as it cools and it turns into tar, and then that will catch on fire, get your chimney crazy hot, burn through your chimney, light your house on fire. So it's pretty important that you sweep a chimney. Now I'll show you how I like to start a fire. So I like to try to find some wood that has a lot of structure to it. Like this stuff is good. It's gonna catch heat really well. It's very dry as well, it's birch. But, you know, like this, wow, all these little things, it's basically like kindling down in there. And that's gonna light really, really good. So I like to kind of nestle it in there in a good spot. I also try to save all the coals. These are all coals, charcoal from the last fire that aren't hot anymore. Those instantly, a moment a spark gets on them, they're gonna light and they're gonna get hot, especially with some air on it. So I like to get all those little coals and save as many of them as I can. A lot of air can come up between these two pieces of wood there, and that's where I'm gonna put all my hot coals. I'm gonna sprinkle them right on down in there. Now I'm just gonna set another piece of wood right on top of that. Right like that. There we go. Now all I need to do is get a spark in there and it should take right off. Now I got this piece of wood. It's not gonna take much. I don't have a match here, but I got a lighter. So, there we go. Now I'm just gonna stick that right on down in there. And try to get some of those coals to warm. This boiler, it has a fan that blows air on it. Now, as you can see, that fan started blowing air right in that little crotch that I made with those coals in there. And that thing should take right on off. I'm gonna add some more firewood to it. A couple more birch logs. Here's where all the hard work comes into play. Look at that, I got a bucket of coal. Now I just throw those pieces of coal on top of the wood. And they're gonna burn great. This wood will get them going. It takes a little bit to get the coal going. That's what the wood's for. So it's just gonna light right on up now and be a nice hot fire all the way through the night. Well,
Yes.
is the house so cozy, warm?
So cozy. So cozy.
Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah,
I
thank
went
you.
to the beach and I realized there's a famous saying that's something like, the real heat that you get from a wood stove or a coal stove in this situation is from all the hard work you do getting all the wood or coal.
Yeah, definitely.
You get real warm when you're doing that.
Yeah, you do.
But it's a nice cozy house,
Nice
even when
cozy
it's
house.
cold outside.
We're so thankful because it sure is cold.
Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you guys had fun with it because I sure did.